one of the easiest things in the world is just to run somebody down, oh, he's a jerk, he's bad, whatever. And both sides play that game. I think it's dishonorable. I don't do it. If I disagree with somebody, I try to do it respectfully on the basis of the facts. This dear lady.
Yes, just my understanding of your views of the sovereign nations. What changes do you plan on making to make the sovereign nation part of,
A part of what now?
part of LEAP? How do you plan on making the sovereign nation part of LEAP?
Part of we.
Not me.
Are you talking about Cherokee?
Yes.
I have no intentions of going up there and disrupting the reservation system. I simply say I don't think it's in the interest of anybody to isolate them. I do not think if cultures do not grow and assimilate, they die. They self-destruct from within. Everything in our history proves that. Everything in the Cherokee Nation's history proves that. If you look at the Cherokee Nation, it's not been the way it is now for hundreds of years back. They've evolved in their own way like all the rest of us have. What I will do is not give them a special deal. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to, they brought me one that I didn't know about that I think should be changed. You know, as a white guy, I can go on the Cherokee reservation and break the law, steal some lumber, and they can't hold me accountable for it. They're law enforcement officers. Can't hold me accountable. That's wrong. That's not a fair deal. You know, that's the other side of the equation where I would absolutely support them. So it comes back to that word fairness. But I'm not going to attack that system. I think that's for those folks who live there to recognize the limitations of isolation and reconsider it, and to really ask themselves, if you look at anthropology and cultural disintegration, and how do you preserve that culture? Because there's some rich things in that culture that all of us could benefit from. I think it's going to get killed by some of the downsides of isolation if they or we are not careful. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just a moment ago you had said that you don't specifically attack President Bush in public, and you think it's become a game.
I don't run him down
Right.
as a sport.
Right, exactly. And I admire that, I suppose, especially from a Republican, because it seems like it is the popular view. But you also said that you think he's done some things right. And I'm wondering specifically in the last 8 years, in your opinion, what do you think he has done? Or at the federal level, generally.
I'm not impressed with our federal government at any level, frankly. I can't think of a major problem they've tackled in the past 8 to 10 years with success, a major problem. I think he's stood firm against terrorist factions. I think he was right to go to Afghanistan to take the fight there. I think he's upheld certain conservative values, but on the downside, I think he's done that selectively. I believe he's made an effort to limit the size of government at some level. Next question. Yes, sir.
I promised myself that I wasn't going to ask a question today, but I guess I'm breaking all the promise. I think politicians sometimes do that too. And you ask us to be candid with you and ask personal, professional, political questions. You opened your monologue today claiming faith.
Yes, sir.
And I think the leader of that faith says that faith without works is dead. And then you followed up and said that you're going to run on principle, but you're not going to engage in a system that creates results because they don't follow principles. You said you didn't want to get in the system of taking money from this PAC because that's not what you're going to be about. And then you say you don't even know that you're going to win this race. So if faith without works is dead, and you're running on principles, and you don't even know if you're going to get results, isn't that just a martyr kind of position, just to say you did something without results?
That's a complicated question. First
Well,
off,
I'm just trying to square it all together.
First off, do you see results coming out of that system?
It does depend on how you define results.
Yeah,
And
well,
that's where you have diametrically opposed.
I don't see results coming out. We're talking about Washington. I don't see results, haven't seen results coming out of Washington for years. I think they're good at spending their money. They're good at building bigger government, and they're good at creating rules. But in terms of solving problems, which is the result that would matter most to me, deeds, I don't see that happening. Beyond that, I'm not sure. What I said is winning is not my driving goal. I'm not in charge of winning. If I have to win to be a part of a corrupt system, I don't know what to do that, or I'm not willing to do that. But how does that represent a contradiction with my Christian value system? Because I'm having a little trouble following the
Because
connection.
you then said that you were running on a set of principles, and you didn't know that those principles, if elected, because you don't even know that you're going to get elected. You're not going to take monies from constituent groups. You're not going to take.
Well, there's nothing in the Republican Party's principles that says take money from people or let them buy you off.
Well, do you want to win? Don't you want to change the system?
Of course I want to win.
Will you generate your own groups?
But again, that's one of the fallacies in politics. I've been able to effect tremendous change in Asheville, North Carolina, not by going along, not by going with the wind, not by swapping votes, but by standing for something. I should not change that approach in Washington, or I just become like what's already up there. Why should I go up there? Let's keep Heath if that's what we want. We don't need the same thing we already have there. It's one of the great myths in politics that you have to go along to get along. You have to swap votes to affect change. I think you affect far more change with as much graciousness as you can master, with as much willingness to learn and grow as you can pull out of yourself, and taking that and standing for something. And standing firmly for something until you win or find a better way. But not becoming like a wind vane that changes based on polls or moods or other things. Of course, I would not have gone through this year of suffering if I didn't want to win this. But I'm not willing to win it at any price, because that will make me just like the people I'm trying to replace, and there's no reason to do that.
It sounds like a martyr position, and I hope you make change.
I understand. I can see where you might have that interpretation. I think of funner ways to do it.
I think that's all the time we have.
Thank you.
Thank you. Big announcement, if you're interested in going to the local science club, we're meeting at 5 o'clock tonight in the Rogers room, in the Cardinal room. So come join us. We've got all kinds of fun activities planned. So again, thank you so much for